In my last video, I discussed my experience with WoW and Final Fantasy XIV and made some comparisons between the two. You guys seem to agree with the majority if not all of the points I made in that video. Today, however, we're going to leave WoW on the side and focus more on Final Fantasy XIV and some of the features or changes I would like to see implemented in the future. Hello everybody, my name's Husselbeh and I'd like to welcome you back to another video. Final Fantasy XIV is probably my favourite game to play at the moment, and I can talk for hours about the good aspects of it. There are however some things in the game, like any other, that could in my opinion be improved, and then some features that I feel like are missing. Please do remember that this list is just my opinion, and it's the opinion that I formed from my experience and from the experience of those around me. But before we get right into it, I just wanted to say thank you again for the massive support on my first video last week. And if you want to have more discussions like this, don't forget I do stream Monday through Wednesday every week on Twitch, and that's at twitch.tv/Husselbeh. So to kick this off, I'm going to talk about the map in 14. Now, you're using the map from the very start of the game to aid in navigating around the various different zones and cities so that you can complete objectives and further progress the story. Coming from WoW, the map in that game is very simple but easy to use. You can right click and zoom out of a zone to see the surrounding zones. You can then click on each zone and zoom in to see that map all laid out on one level. There's no distinguishing in high, everything is as it shows, simple and in 2D. Final Fantasy, however, doesn't really offer a map with this level of clarity and simplicity. Take Limsa, for example. There are several levels to this bustling pirate's haven, and for someone new to the game, the intertwining levels that you can see overlapping can be quite confusing. I have little to no issues with the map in 14 now, but that's after 3 years of playing. As a new player, I often had great difficulty navigating the zones to get to where I wanted to be. It was often a game of, okay, I need to be here, let's work back from there and figure out my route. A friend of mine is also playing through the game for the first time at the moment, and he's having a really hard time with the map in 14, as he also came from WoW, but he played even longer than I did. For him, it sometimes gets to the point where he logs out due to not wanting to fight the map to complete a quest. So from that, I'd hope, if possible, that Yoshida and the team could refine the map and how it's used for a more streamlined and simple experience, especially for the new players. So, moving on to something that's a little bit more of a personal gripe of mine, that kind of prevents me from having my character have certain hairstyles or certain armour sets, and that's clipping. Now, Final Fantasy has a fantastic selection of hairstyles of different shapes and lengths. Likewise, with the armour sets, a variety of different styles with different shapes that sit differently on your characters. Unfortunately, a lot of the long hairstyles tend to quite badly clip through the armour, either on the shoulders or the chest piece. But clipping isn't just limited to the hairstyles, there's some armour sets that your arms clip through, and that's why they're by your sides, and you also sometimes get the weapons that clip through armour as well. In this case, I don't know how technically possible it is, but it would be nice if there was a way to prevent clipping in general and maybe a little extra care taken when creating new sets to avoid clipping as much as possible, since armour sets as recent as Shadowbringers are having this issue, like the Dragoon armour that you get at level 80. The hands clip through the side, just below the waist for me as a male Highlander. So, something that could combat these issues, whether it's an update to the engine, changes in design for the armour sets to work with all hairstyles, or something completely different, would be massively appreciated by myself and I think many other people in the community. Now, from the barbershop to the battlefield, this one is very much a personal opinion, but I believe this could be a huge quality of life change if implemented. Now, I'll go ahead and say first, I do apologise if there is a way to do this already in game, but I've not been able to find it myself. But auto-dismount when attacking. I can't tell you how frustrating it is coming from WoW to try and do something quick and attempt to attack a mob that I just ran up on my chocobo, to then have to faff with the dismount first before being able to attack it. This also applies though to using items for quests. They could easily implement this in the game in a similar way to WoW. Make it so you have to be on the ground to do so, to avoid accidental dismounts in mid-air, and have it toggleable for people who would prefer the method used now. Yeah, that was just a short one though, so on to the next. Have you ever been at the end of a dungeon, you get to the cutscene, and then by the time you've come out of it everyone's left already? Or Have you left a dungeon yourself and then realised afterwards that you forgot to give someone your commendation? If you have, then yeah, me too. A lot. With commendations being a really positive thing in general, I like to try and give one out every dungeon, but sometimes either people leave too quickly for me to choose them, or I leave and forget to do it before I have left. It's only really a minor inconvenience, but I feel like there should be a way implemented to still give commendations to people that were in your party for that run, even if they leave or if you leave. Even if it was just for a limited time, for example, 5 minutes after you leave the dungeon, you have the option to still commend a player from that party. I just feel like it's a shame that so many times they get wasted because of this, and it would help further reinforce that positivity that you can build with others. Okay, so that's 4 down and 1 last feature to go. Now if you've made it this far in the video, I just wanted to say thank you so very much. I really do appreciate it and I hope you're enjoying the discussion as much as I am. If you are, please like the video, subscribe to see more like this, and leave a comment below telling me your most desired feature that you want to see added to Final Fantasy XIV. Now here's the big one, the one that I believe everyone that has played this game will agree with, and the one that I say is the most demanded throughout the whole Final Fantasy XIV community. Drumroll please. Glamour improvements. I know, shock. It's no secret that glamour is the true endgame of Final Fantasy XIV. You might find yourself asking then, if it's so popular, why does it need improving? Well, that's because there's such a huge limitation to it. You receive the items, and if you want to have that appearance, then you've got to go and put it in your glamour dresser. But this glamour dresser only has 400 slots. And 400 slots might seem like a lot, but just think about it. We have 18 battle classes, with 2 more on the way. Then we have 8 crafters and 3 gatherers, making a massive 31 classes in total when Endwalker releases. Suddenly those 400 slots are seeming quite a lot smaller. At 13 slots per class, you don't even have enough slots to maintain storage for a single unique glamour set for each one. And then you have the glamour plates, which even further limit the flexibility of the glamour system. For those that don't know, glamour plates are basically a way of saving your glamour for use at a later date so you can easily swap between them. Now I've already said that there are going to be 31 classes come Endwalker, and as of making this video there are only 15 glamour plates. 15! That's not even going to cover half the jobs, let alone any of the extra outfits you wanted for just general or even seasonal use. And from my understanding, this is one of the biggest causes of frustration throughout the community, because as many have said, they play the game most to use it as a place to be with friends, develop their characters, and make themselves look good. And in regards to making a better system, we could potentially look at something like Warcraft. I know I've mentioned them a lot, but their transmog system is quite simple and it's easy to use. So once that item is entered your inventory, you've got that appearance to use forever, no matter whether you keep the item or sell it off. Then you can head to the transmog vendor and create, as far as I'm aware, unlimited presets. And this is all just for the one class that you're locked into with WoW. By no means am I saying that it's perfect, but I feel it's most definitely a step in the right direction if Yoshi and the team were to take inspiration from it. And give us more slots, damn it! So that's my top 5 changes or features I'd like to see in Final Fantasy XIV. What did you think? Did you agree with my opinions? Or did you have other things that you thought were more important? Remember to comment them below with your most desired feature. Smash the like button if you enjoyed this discussion, and of course subscribe and hit the bell to see more like this in the future and to be notified when they are uploaded. And I just want to say thanks again for everybody who's been watching, and again for the massive support on the last one. Take care, and I'll see you all again in the next video.